Hello and welcome. As a hotel AI expert, I'm pleased to welcome all students of Europe Hotel School to your online learning journey. Now, in a world that's so focused on digital, it's easy to overlook the power of something as simple as a handshake. But in our industry, in hospitality, that human connection, well, it's everything. So today, we're going to dive into the art of face-to-face prospecting. It's a timeless skill, and mastering it will truly set you apart.
You know, this quote really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? Face-to-face prospecting brings that human element right to the forefront. And look, digital tools are fantastic, we all use them, but they just can't replicate that immediate spark you get from a real in-person conversation. It's that human touch, the shared smile, the firm handshake. That's what builds genuine, lasting trust.
All right, so let's jump right into our first section here, the power of presence. Now, I know what you might be thinking. In this hyper-digital world we live in, face-to-face seems a little old school, right? But I'm here to tell you, it's actually your strategic advantage. It is your secret weapon for building the kind of deep trust that is the absolute bedrock of success in hospitality.
Okay, this slide really lays it all out. It's a fantastic contrast. On one side, you've got your digital channels. Their reach is massive. They're super efficient, no doubt about it. But it can be pretty impersonal. Now, look at the other side. In person. That's where you build trust. That's where you create a real emotional connection. It's the difference between just collecting data and gaining genuine, nuanced insight. So one's about volume, sure, but the other, it's all about value.
And this is really the most important takeaway from this section. When you meet someone face-to-face, you're not just some salesperson pitching a product. No, you are the brand. You become the living, breathing embodiment of your hotel. You're conveying its personality, its values, its culture, in a way that a website or an email just can't. It's impossible.
Okay, so where do we actually make these critical connections? That's a great question, and it brings us right to our next section, arenas for connection. Because let's be honest, knowing where to be is half the battle.
So think of it like this. You have three main stages to play on. First up, trade shows. These are like these concentrated hubs, right? All the decision makers are in one place, which makes them super efficient. Then you've got networking events. These are usually a bit more focused, maybe a little more relaxed, perfect for building relationships. And finally, sales missions. Now this is when you proactively take your message on the road, directly into your target markets.
Yeah, let's really zoom in on that idea of a sales mission for a second, because it's a completely different mindset. See, with a trade show, you're kind of waiting for people to come to you. With a sales mission, you are proactively going to them. Think about the message that sends. It shows an incredible level of commitment, and it gives you these priceless insights into their world, their business environment. It's a total game changer.
Of course, you can't just show up to these things and hope for the best. Success in these arenas is never, ever an accident. It's always the result of really good preparation. And that's what our next section is all about, creating a blueprint for making a real impact. Because the work starts long before you ever shake that first hand.
I like to think of preparation as having four essential pillars. First, you've got to have clear objectives. What do you actually want to achieve? Without that, you're just wandering around. Second, deep market knowledge. You need to understand who you're talking to. Then, of course, your communication style. You've got to find that perfect balance of warmth and professionalism. And finally, and this is crucial, ethical conduct. You have to be transparent and honest. Without these pillars, the whole thing falls apart.
So here's a question I want you to really think about. What impression do you want to leave behind? Seriously, because every single detail contributes to this. It's your attire, it's your handshake, it's whether you're on time, it's how well you listen, all of it. It's all part of your personal and professional brand that you're building in that very moment.
Okay, so you've done all the prep work. You're there, you're on the floor. Now what happens? Well, now we master the conversation. This isn't just about pitching. It's about turning a simple chat into the real start of a partnership. And this slide just illustrates the difference perfectly. We're not talking about a sales pitch that's rehearsed, it's one way, it's all about let me tell you, no. We're talking about a genuine conversation that's authentic, it's two-way, and it's focused entirely on your client's needs. The entire mindset shifts from let me tell you about my product to tell me about your challenges. One is trying to sell, the other is trying to connect.
And please, remember this. Your communication is so much more than just the words you're using. It's your body language, it's your tone of voice, it's projecting a presence that is both confident and approachable. All of that How you say something is just as important as what you say when it comes to building an atmosphere of real trust.
All right, so you've had a great conversation. That's fantastic. But it's really only the first step. The real work, the part where you actually build a lasting partnership, that all happens after the event is over. And that brings us to the art of the follow-up.
And let me be absolutely clear about this. The follow-up is where the relationship is truly built. Without an effective follow-up strategy, even the most promising, amazing conversations you had, they just lose momentum. They fade away. And all that hard work you put in, it ends up being for nothing.
So how do you do it right? It really comes down to these 3 steps. First, timeliness. You have to act quickly while the conversation is still fresh in their mind. Delays just kill the impact. Second, personalize it. Don't send a generic email. Reference something specific you talked about. It shows you are actually listening. And third, be consistent. A single message is almost never enough. You have to build that familiarity over time. This is how you turn a brief contact into a real ongoing relationship.
This quote really sums it all up. The true measure of your success, it's not going to be how many contacts you make or how many business cards you collect. Not at all. It's about the depth and the quality of the relationships that you build from those contacts. That focus on quality over quantity, that's the foundation of a truly successful career in hospitality.
So the final question is for you. Your next handshake could define your next big partnership. Are you prepared? After this, I believe you are. You have the principles, you have the tools, not just to go out and network, but to go out and build genuine, meaningful connections. With that, I wish you all the best in your careers. Thank you.